First of all, do you think you should have had another penalty there?
From where I saw it, I thought the penalty was more so on Louis. I think that ball that was delivered over, I don't think the player had any intention on the ball and just gave him a bit of a nudge in the back. So the handballs are the handballs. The handball rule, well, I still haven't worked out this season, so I can't really comment on that one.
Do you think the fact that the ref had already given 2 penalties may have influenced his decision?
It shouldn't influence anything. If, it's black and white at the end of the day, if it's a penalty or it's not a penalty. So whether you have 1 or 3 penalties in a game is irrelevant.
On the penalty you were given, Ulysses did take it. Tom has obviously been scoring goals. He scored 5 and 4. Who did you want to take?
Oh, look, for me, it's generally within the game. The players who feel fresh and who feel up to it will step up and take it. And Uli stepped up to take it, and he missed it. It happens. The best players in the world miss penalties. You know, it's part of the game. He would have loved to have scored and got the winner there in the 88th, 89th minute. But sometimes this happens in football.
This match, extends the club record unbeaten right now, 10 matches, but it's not the result that you needed really for your top 6 hopes. How disappointing is it to sort of have that mixture of emotions?
Yeah, the thought process was never about the 10 games unbeaten streak or anything like that. We went out today with an opportunity to get 3 points and try to make the top 6, so that was never in the thought process whatsoever. So for us it's disappointing. I thought we started off well. We took a good lead with a good goal. I think we allowed Perth one error from us that led to a goal through transition, and then a good strike from distance, where they scored their second goal. But the boys, look, at the end of the day, they've played 3 games in 8 days. They worked hard to get themselves back into the game, and at the end we had an opportunity to win it.
What does this result mean for your playoff aspirations?
Look, we need to still win our next game, and then we have to rely on a few results going our way.
You look at going behind 2-1 midway through the second half. You have been on the road since you went to Melbourne 2 weeks ago.
I think we've been on the road the whole season, mate.
You have been on the road the whole season, but especially so you've been away from your current base. How pleased were you to see that there was still that level of fight and desire from your players? Yeah,
the fight and desire has always been there from day one with our players. Obviously, it helps with the fans, backing them up with a bit of noise in the crowd to get them over the line. And look, like I said, they played 3 games in 8 days, and they play with a lot of pride and a lot of spirit and a lot of energy. So it's disappointing at the end not coming away with a win.
Perth came here having not played away since mid-April. They hadn't won away since the start of February. That presented a really good chance for your side. Do you feel it was one that, really hurts not to take?
Yeah, look, these games are a little bit different. I know we beat Perth already twice this season before this game. The players will take confidence from that, but at this stage of the season, I think everyone's taken another step up because everyone's fighting for a position within the top 6. So it was always going to be a tough game. These are like finals games, if you see the intensity out there with the players and with both teams. So, look, for me, the biggest thing is that I think we missed an opportunity to put another 2 points on the table for us.
Last one from me. What's the mood like amongst the playing group? Obviously, they were all appealing for penalties out there. They were disappointed by that, but in the sheds, how are they sort of reacting?
They haven't come back into the sheds as yet. They're still signing autographs outside, which is a great thing. But look, they'll feel like they'll be disappointed at the end of the day. They worked hard these last 3 games. They'll be very disappointed. But at the end of the day, we've still got a job to do. We've got another game against MacArthur that we need to win, and then whatever happens, happens.
How difficult was it in that second half to want to hold on to the lead or build on it? There was
no talk about holding on to the lead. We still wanted to go for it and score the second. I think if we scored the second before we conceded, I think that would have killed the game off completely. So there was no plan to hold on once the second half started, and then as the game progressed, we would have looked at if we need to make changes accordingly. If it stayed at 1-0.
You would have answered a few of these questions in the last week, but that crowd, they were riding every single pass in that last 10 minutes. What does it mean to have that level of support after the season you've had on the road? Yeah, you've seen the last game when we played in Wellington. The support is immense. It's massive. The players, play for the jersey and they play for the town. We're from Wellington, but we're the only professional football club in New Zealand. So the support has been immense, and the crowd does help you. It's like the 12th man to get you over the line. And the crowd were appealing with all the players to the ref with a few of those calls. that must have been a big boost to the players and given them a lot of...
Yeah, that's why you have the home games. You have the home games for the fans to put pressure on the referees as well, to put pressure on the opposition and to lift our players, and that's why you have a scoreboard where you show those replays and the fans see it, and then they put a bit more pressure onto the referees and the opposition.
Do you think if you'd had this entire season where you would have played half your games at home, you would be in a much different, better position at this time of the season? Yeah,
I don't know. I can't comment on that. But if you look at the season we had last year, playing home and away, I thought we had a very good season. I can't really comment because we didn't do it this year.
Are you happy with the Tim Payne penalty call in the first half? That was overturned.
Yeah, it was so far away from me. I was just trying to see it on the board, if it was or not at the end of the day. For me, I've always been pro VAR, but for me I think it's a waste of time, waste of money, a waste of energy, to be honest.
Just with the late appeals, why do you think there was a reluctance to check them in detail?
I don't know. The referees communicate amongst themselves. At the end of the day, how they see the game is probably different to how I see the game. So I'm not sure.
Waste of time just on that because it's taking too much time, or you still think they're getting the calls wrong?
Oh, look, referees make a judgment, and the VAR is there to back up their judgment, whether they got it right or wrong. We played an extra 6 minutes in the first half because not a player scoring a goal or not a player getting injured. We played 6 minutes of extra time because it was a referee call that made a decision, and then we had to look at it for 3-4 minutes, and then we have 6 minutes of extra time in the first half. So I can't have to comment on that, otherwise I get myself in trouble.
Is there questions from the Zoom? Or?
Is there anyone on Zoom? No, it's good.
Reno Piscopo's performance, not only for what he achieved on the park, but obviously it looked like, I was watching a warm-up, it looked like he was still in pain. Was that the case? And so what did you make of the...
Yeah, he pushed through it. I think it was one of those ones where he grew from it as well, knowing that you can play with a bit of pain. At the same time, he got an injection to numb it, to get through the game. So he was a little bit wary of it at the same time, but he's still a young kid that hasn't played many games at the highest level. So it's good for him to know that you can play through pain.
You must feel a little for Ulises Davila. I mean,
yeah.
He'll wear that one.
Yeah, look, he's going to be disappointed at the end of the day, but you need to understand that Uli's been a very influential player for us, even last season and this season. So, he's scored some great goals for us and won us a lot of games at the same time. So this is part of football. People have missed penalties in the World Cup final and lost the World Cup final. So it's part of the game. Every player has their intention to step up and score. It didn't happen tonight.
Just to go back to the start, on the end, it was the challenge on Louis that you felt was the clearest shout for a penalty you had?
Yeah, I thought that one was.
And did the fourth say anything to you when that happened?
They cleared it. It wasn't.
Ufuk,
yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to ask you one about Stephen Taylor, mate. Is there plans to try and offer him a new deal to extend his stay, or what's the situation?
Yeah, I said that yesterday in my presser after training. We're in discussions at the moment, so we'll see how that pans out.
And if you now go back to Australia, you've got one more game, like you say, you've got to win it, and then the rest is up to everyone else. What's this final week of the regular season going to be about, given the recent sort of travel and the long sort of tough experience you had to...
Yeah, I think this year's been a lot of learnings for myself and also the players and also the club. We'll travel back tomorrow. We'll give the players a day off the next day. We'll have a very short 2-day lead-in to the game against Macarthur. The plan is to go there and get 3 points, and then we can sit back and see what happens, and hopefully all the work that we've done this season, after we get the 3 points against Macarthur, and then things fall positively for us, and then we're in the top 6, and then we work towards the next final series game.
And just on Ulysses, was there actually a minute number you had in mind for him?
When we spoke with the medical staff, they told me 15-20, so that always means around 40 minutes to me. So,
is it slightly deflating to have to go back across the Tasman to finish your season after you had 2 big homecoming games, I guess?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We can't control that. We have to go back over there. At least MacArthur's not too far from where we're based, so it's just an hour travel up to play the game. The main thing is we get the players refreshed, get them going again, and try to get the 3 points against MacArthur, and then, like I said, we need to sit down and see what happens after that.
Well, just on a general level, just a general question. What do you think these 2 games in the last week, what do you think that's done for the sport in this country? The reception the teams had, the crowd?
I think it's been great. I think football is slowly growing in New Zealand as well. I think at grassroots level there's a lot of players playing out there. Like I said, for me, my role being in this role, I think I'm privileged in the sense that, like I said, this is the only professional footballing club in the country. So, you know, it shows that the game is entertaining. I think it is a great atmosphere when you come out to watch. The players, although they may be from other areas around the world, they play with a lot of pride in the jersey as well. So, you know, being away for 433 days, I think, was before we kicked the ball in Wellington, you know, shows that the sport has been missed, you know, at the highest level. And we hope that, well, we know that we've done our best to give back to the fans that have come and support us as well.
Okay, thanks, Sarah.